What's your name?
McCoskey.
But I took this money from him, and the thought was to take a bus down here.
And that's my freedom. That's how I live, free.
What is going through your mind? What thoughts have you had in these last few days?
What good is fear gonna do? It's not gonna do anything.
Number 7. Jamie McCoskey. Jamie McCoskey's case is a harrowing tale that unfolded in Houston, Texas. In 1991, McCoskey, who was already on probation for previous criminal activities, committed a heinous crime that would ultimately lead to his ending in 2013. McCoskey's victims were a young couple, 21-year-old Michael Dwyer and his pregnant fiancée. The couple was abducted from their apartment and their lives took a tragic turn. McCoskey subjected them to a nightmare of violence and terror.
What's your name?
McCoskey.
There's a few things about your case that is a little confusing to me.
Now that I've got a date, I don't have a problem disclosing that. Chester Drawer and the girl that was living with me took the money and tried to double it up. And I always told her to stay a couple blocks down the street and don't follow me.
He knifed Dwyer nearly 24 times, ending his life in a gruesome and brutal manner. The woman was physically mistreated in the midst of this horrifying ordeal. This crime scene marked a chilling culmination of McCoskey's criminal history, revealing a pattern of escalating violence and lawlessness. His actions sent shock waves through the community and sparked outrage among the public. The severity of the crime and the suffering inflicted upon the victims left a lasting impact on the local populace. Before his ending, McCoskey offered his final statement, expressing gratitude to those who helped him and acknowledging the pain suffered by Dwyer's parents. He stated that the best time of his life was during this period, indicating a sense of reflection and self-discovery. As the lethal drug pentobarbital took effect, McCoskey issued a warning against any potential mix-up in the procedure. He passed away 19 minutes after the drug was administered. Number 6. Alan Bannister. On October 22, 1998, Alan Bannister, a native of Chillicothe, faced his final moments as he was executed by lethal injection in Missouri after spending 15 years on death row.
But I took this money from him, and the thought was to take a bus down here, dropping me off on the highway behind my parents' house. And I went down there, and the jury didn't get to hear a single word about my being stabbed a mere 5 weeks before this crime took place. 12 years after the fact, have had no difficulty getting the hospital records.
Bannister's case represents the summer intersection of the criminal justice system and the loss of human life. Having been convicted and sentenced for his crimes, Bannister's ending marked the culmination of a lengthy legal process. His last words held an air of finality, reflecting the weight of impending death and the emotions that must have gripped him. These words, unfortunately, remain undisclosed, shrouding the depth of his thoughts in those concluding moments. Bannister's ending highlights the enduring debate surrounding capital punishment, sparking discussions about the morality, fairness, and effectiveness of such sentences. The extended duration of his time on death row adds another layer of complexity, raising questions about the efficacy and efficiency of the legal system. Number 5. Roger McGowan. This documentary chronicles the life of Roger McGowan, who was sentenced to death for murder in 1987 but has consistently maintained his innocence. Growing up in a disadvantaged area of Houston, Texas, Roger's story is one of resilience, struggle, and an unwavering belief in his own innocence.
I made a decision, and that's my freedom. That's how I live, free of that downward spiral that nobody else is going to. I rely on my strength and on strength from friends And I can't tell you how many times people I don't even know saying, thank you for existing. Thank you for everything you've done. Thank you for writing the book.
The film captures his journey, showcasing his highs and lows, but most importantly, his profound love for life and people. Through his compelling story, the documentary offers a powerful testament to humanity and hope. In a dramatic turn of events, Roger's death sentence was commuted to life imprisonment in 2016, with a potential parole release in 2036, marking a significant shift in his decades-long fight for justice. Number 4. Theodore Robert Bundy. Theodore Robert Bundy, also known as Ted Bundy, was a notorious American serial killer, kidnapper, rapist, burglar, and necrophile who terrorized the United States during the 1970s. He confessed to the murder of at least 30 young women and girls in 7 states between 1974 and 1978, although the true number of his victims may be higher.
Ted, it is about 2:30 in the afternoon. What is going through your mind? What thoughts have you had in these last few days?
Feel that I am in control of, or something that I've come to terms with, because I haven't. It's a moment. What's going through my mind right now is to use. It helps to live in the moment, in the essence that we use it productively. So I'm right.
Is
Yes.
that correct?
Yes, that's true.
Ted, how did it happen? Take me back.
Bundy's crimes and his subsequent arrest, trial, and execution have become a chilling part of American criminal history. Bundy's story has recently gained attention through various media, including the Netflix film Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil and Vile. The movie focused on Bundy's relationship with his girlfriend, Elizabeth Koffler, and his trial, but it overlooked the details of his final days. On January 24, 1989, Ted Bundy was executed at Florida State Prison, marking the end of his gruesome reign of terror. Bundy's execution drew significant attention, with protesters outside the prison gates and a national audience watching the event unfold. His heinous crimes, which included the murder of young women and girls, had captured the nation's morbid curiosity. Bundy's capture was a turning point in his reign of terror. He was finally apprehended in Florida in 1978 after a series of escapes and invasions. Bundy's eventual confession to his former girlfriend, Elizabeth Koffler, revealed the extent of his monstrous actions and provided some closure for his victims' families. The story of Ted Bundy underscores the shocking and disturbing nature of serial killers and their impact on society. Number 3. Li Shiyuan. In China's Heilongjiang province, a deeply moving moment occurred as death row inmate Li Shiyuan said his final goodbye to his family before his execution on December 15. Li Shiyuan had been sentenced to death for his involvement in a fatal altercation in 2015 that resulted in the deaths of 3 individuals. This heart-rending scene captures the raw emotions surrounding capital punishment, underscoring the human connections that persist even in such somber circumstances. The encounter serves as a stark reminder of the profound and complex impact of executions, shedding light on the intimate farewells shared between inmates and their loved ones in the face of impending death. Number 2. Scott Dozier. Scott Dozier, a death row inmate, took matters into his own hands, ending his life by hanging himself with a bed sheet in his Nevada prison cell after waiting for his execution. In 2018, Dozier was set to become the first person in the US to be executed with fentanyl, a highly potent opioid. However, his execution was postponed, leading to a series of events that culminated in his suicide. The case of Scott Dozier illustrates the broader issues within the U.S. capital punishment system, from the challenges of finding suitable execution methods to the moral dilemmas surrounding the act of taking a life as punishment. The struggle to navigate these complexities underscores the ongoing debate and controversy surrounding the death penalty in the United States. Number 1. James Dupree Henry. James Dupree Henry, born on January 17, 1950 and executed on September 20, 1984, was an American criminal who murdered civil rights leader Zelly Riley during a robbery in Orlando on March 23, 1974. Henry slashed Riley's throat and shot Orlando detective Ronald E. Ferguson during his arrest 5 days later. Surprisingly, despite Henry's crime of slaying a civil rights leader, figures like Jesse Jackson and Coretta Scott King, as well as Zelly Riley's son, opposed his execution. Henry was executed via the electric chair in Florida. Intriguingly, despite Henry's heinous act of killing a prominent civil rights advocate, some unexpected voices rallied against his execution. Figures like Jesse Jackson and Coretta Scott King, both revered in the civil rights movement, sought to prevent Henry's date with the electric chair. Even Zelly Riley's own son, William Riley, voiced his opposition to the execution of his father's murderer. Beyond the singular case of James Dupree Henry, the interview delves into the experiences of other death row inmates in Florida. The execution of John Spinkling had a profound impact, casting a somber shadow over those awaiting their fate.
So much of me has died, and I haven't been to the chair yet. So like a depression. You know, everybody was kind of quiet, didn't say very much. Keep myself together. What good is fear gonna do? It's not gonna do anything.
The video captures the inmates' introspection and their wrestling with the profound reality that the electric chair could be their ultimate fate. In essence, the documentary offers a poignant glimpse into the life and execution of James Dupree Henry, while also delving into the broader conversations surrounding capital punishment in the United States. The contrasting viewpoints, moral quandaries, and emotional turmoil of the inmates provide a thought-provoking exploration of a deeply divisive issue. That's all for this video, folks. See you next time.